I'm usually a pretty frequent traveler, but I haven't flown anywhere or gone anywhere since March because of the COVID-19 pandemic. But I'm about to go on my very first flight since then. I'm going from Houston Hobby Airport to Tampa, Florida. I know there's tons of safety precautions in place for when you do fly and go to the airport, so I'm going to see how it is. Of course, though, I'm going to be taking some safety precautions of my own. I am going to be packing the hand sanitizer. Again, you do have to wear the mask when you go in the airport and on the plane. And I'm going to be bringing my own Lysol wipes so I can clean the seat when I go on the plane. The first thing I notice in the airport is just how empty it is. There's barely anyone in the security line. Then once you get through security, a lot of the stores are closed and the restaurants do have limited capacity. But every time I fly out of Hobby Airport, I always go to the exact same restaurant and I order wine and French fries. It's my airport go-to. But when I went inside of the restaurant, again, it was very limited capacity. So I sat at the bar and they only had, I believe, 5 seats open at the bar. And they cleaned it so often. Anytime a customer left, they cleaned the entire area right away. So I definitely did feel safe going there. So this is my first time flying since the coronavirus pandemic. I wasn't really nervous, but there are so few people here at Hobby Airport in Houston. I walked straight through security, right up to the TSA agent where you give them your ID. Once I gave the guy my ID, there was probably 5 people in front of me just to go through the actual security. It took about 5 minutes. So there are not a lot of people here at all. I'm a pretty frequent flyer, so this is, I guess, how it is now. Another thing to note is there are hand sanitizer stations everywhere, and they have places where you can actually go pick up masks because masks are required here. I just landed in Tampa from my flight from Houston Hobby Airport. I flew Southwest, and one thing before I boarded, I wasn't sure how they were going to do. Southwest usually boards you in A group, B group, or C group, but you kind of all have to congregate and wait in line. But now they board you in groups of 10. So they would call A 1 through 10, 11 through 20. So you would board like that so you wouldn't all be crammed in the front, so you could still social distance a bit. Then once I got on my flight, I wiped everything down. I brought Clorox wipes with me in my bag, so I re-wiped everything down just as a precaution. You do have to wear a mask the entire time on the flight, except for when you're eating or drinking. On the flight as well, they only served water and a little pack of, it was like a little snack mix with pretzels and Cheez-Its. So they don't have the service that they used to have on flights. Now, again, you only get the water and the snack mix. I'm usually a pretty frequent flyer, and this is the first time I have flown since April. It's now September, so I haven't flown in several months because of the COVID-19 pandemic, but I didn't really feel unsafe or anything. Again, you have to wear the mask the entire time you're on the plane. I wiped everything down, so it wasn't bad. The airports also have lots of extra precautions like this. So people aren't sitting right next to each other. And there's sanitizer stations everywhere. And the airports are so empty. I fly into this airport all the time and I have never seen it this empty.